These are EHS symptoms. Symptoms caused by environment. Okay, you got the unsteady, balance, equilibrium, which people will say I'm dizzy, or the patient will claim to be dizzy, as I have, heart palpitation, nausea, sudden migraines, and migraines that will last for a long time, body resonating / vibrating, panic, as well as anxiety attacks. You will have memory issue, concentrations. Now, all of these, if you go to CROZER KEYSTONE emergency, or as they say, CROZER CCMS, CROZER, I forgot what it is, CCM Medical Center, emergency department. Now, they will treat these symptoms one by one. You can go in from nausea, but as soon as you go in for body resonating, they will classify you as mental. If you go with a couple of them, this is the one I have here. There's another one, but body resonating, you go in there and say you vibrating, they will automatically classify that. But these are all under EHS symptoms, electrohypersensitive, which is not mental. They're trying to make this mental. This body measurement is actually neurological issue problem, not a mental problem. On a Sunday, which was August the 11th, that's what they classified me with, whole body. This is when I came in. I wrote down what was my problem, and I said due to electromagnetic field in my environment. And I tried to explain to them what EHS, because they're unfamiliar with these physicians and medical doctors are unfamiliar with EHS. It's gradually, slowly coming into the medical industry, but it's not enough. It's being concealed because they're hiding the fact that people are coming in with these complaints and they're misdiagnosing them. Instead of neurological, they're diagnosing them with psychological. These are all emergency. These are all release discharge instructions and discharge papers from medicals, and it dates back to 2008. So you have it underlined. The vomiting, the migraines, the nausea, the vomiting. See. Go to the next one. This is that one I just did. Then you go to the next one, headache, migraine. Next one, migraine. They all are thick. They all are pretty thick. They all are pretty thick. And you go to anxiety, headache, migraine, and it goes on. You have it also affects electromagnetic field. Also affects your digestive systems. And this is the dates that I have. Some of these are from, I just wrote down the dates instead of just showing y'all one by one. I've been into the emergency in regards to the dates. Okay, so here, let's jump over here to this one. Let's just, for example, go here. I can't. Okay, dizziness up here, dizziness, final diagnosed dizziness. They conceal the dizziness with toxic and digestive. Because I went in here thinking I was in here feeling so drunk that I couldn't even walk straight. Had not eaten anything crazy or anything was normal. My normal day was routine. And it's all of a sudden I start feeling dizzy, and it's just stayed for the whole day. So I finally just went to the emergency because I thought it was carbon monoxide, whatever, dioxide, whatever. So I asked them to test me for it, but it came back negative. So that's why their conclusion was toxic and digestive. They had no indication, nothing, no clues, no evidence of toxic ingestion. but that's what they said it was, the dizziness was from. But technically it was from, this is them how they conceal it. Technically, it was from my environment, electromagnetic field. And the electromagnetic field is heavy. I have 3 of these devices. You can measure it. EMF, electromagnetic field. You can measure it, and it's very high in my unit, extremely high. So it's not like I'm lying or telling a story. So you go on YouTube. I have videos of me vomiting. I have videos of me measuring my kitchen, my bedroom, my living room, the floors, the walls, the ceilings. I have all evidence in reference to electromagnetic field in my house. So it's not that I'm lying about. It's like, if someone says, how do you know you have electromagnetic field in your house? Because I've got 3 of these types of forms of different types of environment, pay different prices for this. But also on a professional level, housing authorities can also, they can come in and have their, what it is, only people that will know about environmental can measure and have the tools and equipment are building biologists. Building biologists have the correct measuring devices, tools, and it's much more expensive, thousands of dollars for their tools and devices to measure your environment. But that's too much like right for housing authorities, because they'll be hit with a lot of things, so they try to conceal it as much as the medical industry is concealing these symptoms and trying to not. These are patterns going back to all of these symptoms going back to 2000, I say as 2008. So, and these are all discharge instructions and stuff. Like I said, they're all discharge. These are all discharge leading to a pattern of electrohypersensitive that's being concealed. So the dates are actually to present, 2019. And like I said, Sunday, I was so upset with the Sunday diagnosis of psychomatic. That's what he diagnosed me with, psychomatic, which is a mental. He tried to make me say I was mental when I reported the resonating, my body resonating. And here go when I registered. And he asked me and put me through a lot of physical tests, like raise your arm, raise your left arm, and then they ask you, have you had suicidal thoughts? You know, they implant these things, try to implant these seeds in your head that, you know, that's where I knew it was where I was like, oh my goodness, it's going left. I know where this is going. It's going towards that. I'm going the psychological, and let me get out of here before they try to admit me or 302 me. But basically, and I told them the prescriptions that I was on, which I always take for the migraines. I'm on prescribed medication for the migraines and another prescription, but they're not, none of them for mental. They're for other, you know, things to help me. I take as I need. I don't take them every day, take as I need it. For the migraine, for the vomiting, for the nausea, I have a prescription for each and every symptoms, but they're not putting the patterns together. And this has been going on. And I've moved into this unit in 96. And so they did the, when they laid the grid for the smart meters, all these symptoms became more intense, and I started going to the hospital more. It's like my migraines, I will get rid of my migraines mostly by laying down and being quiet in a cool space for at least an hour, and I'm back to normal, but they would not go away. I would start vomiting. Once the grid was laid and the smart meters was placed on the back of all these units, it became more intensifying. And what I mean by I'm starting to have migraines opposed to a couple of times a month, or I say 5 times a month opposed to 25. You know, it went from maybe 5 times per month, and I started getting them. It's like they would not. My migraines would stay. They would linger on for days and days and days, till I could not function. So that's why I said more intense when the grid was laid down and smart meters were placed on our units. Wi-Fi doesn't help. One of the things when you become very sensitive, any electronics or appliances will become a problem to you, from running the refrigerator to being on the computer to smartphones to cell phones. You can't use them as frequently, and sometimes you can't use them at all until your body, or until whenever. There's no specific time. Another thing, CROZER. Sunday had me sign this without my knowledge of what it was. Sign this agreement. If I consent, I will not be able to file my grievance concerning these same services unless the consent is rescinded in writing. So I have a couple of days to rescind this. And these are the symptoms. If I disagree with the diagnosis. So she had me sign it. She, the electronic sign, they square, they tell you to sign it, and and then she wouldn't let me sign it where I can protect myself with a UCC code. You put your name down and you put the UCC 1302. Every time I did that, she would delete it. She would remove it and tell me to re-sign it. Re-sign it, and didn't tell me what I was re-signing. And it says right here, let me see. I have read the consent, or I have had read to me, and I have been explained to my satisfaction. They never did that to me. They never let me read it. They just had me sign that electronic block and printed it out and gave it to me as I was leaving out. And I didn't read this until I got to the car. So that's an act of fraudulent right there, having you sign things that they're supposed to, and then they won't let you sign it, where you can protect yourself with the UCC code. UCC 1-308, you can look it up. Yeah, so that's how they operate, and that's the emergency department. Somebody asked, why are you still there? But this is the tenant complaint that I filed. They have not answered. They every time you file a grievance or make a complaint or call, no calls are returned or anything like that. So I tried to get HUD involved, but HUD won't do anything unless there's a discrimination claim versus violation of federal law or regulation. So with this complaint, I explained that I was in an electromagnetic field as high as 176, actually is higher, and the Environment Protection Agency only allows, this is the Environment Protection Agency only, you're only supposed to be nothing higher than this, but you're in something that as high as this in the red. So your body, your biology, your DNA and your biology is going to clash with that. So you're going to be constantly sick, different illnesses and sickness and stuff. And when I say here, violation of federal law and regulation, when I try to call HUD and discriminate, well, it was 2 months back and forth of trying to them intake department to take my case, but they wouldn't take it because it was not a discrimination claim. It was that they were violating federation law and regulation, because these are federal housings.